morning self, cosmos, universe, soul. Dr. Nick here. Ohana. It is March 25th, 2025, Tuesday morning. This is sunrise. This is like 7 a.m. This is the perfect time today to get as much infrared light in these eyes and the skin as possible. I'm wearing lots of clothes because I want to be warm enough to stay up here as long as I can. I want to be up here for at least an hour. I even take some more calls up here. I'm going to turn on the noise canceling before I forget. There we go. Just notice how this naturally keeps wanting to turn sideways. And that's okay. Try to set up the fire pit, but I've got a lighter. We've got this beautiful new structure behind us. This is the building that my dear friend Francis built for us while we were here. So excited about this because it means we can use this in the rain. We still got to turn it 90 degrees. We still got to move it back. We still need to see what furniture we want to have underneath it, see what feels good to stay dry, and actually trusting the process. Trusting this deck unfolding, trusting in being able to use the space more. Trusting whatever panels we need to put up around, beside, behind, to block out as much of the rain as possible. And then trusting that, it's going to work out. There's a part of me that already wants to get the next thing. Say, let's just use it first. Let's just see how it goes. Let's just see. There's all this garbage up here, so I need to clean that up as well. So waiting for today for a little bit more sunshine, for a little bit more absence of rain at least, to clean up some of the garbage. Grateful for my dear friend Francis for coming out and getting so much hands-on stuff done, and then also noticing my own jealousy or disdain almost to someone who can do things physically, because I feel like I'm being judged for not doing things physically sometimes. And then just noticing these are all the stories. There's so many stories. And as well, that's a reflection of my dad. Like, my brother and I would almost make fun of him for his lack of physicality. And it's not that he didn't want to. He felt, actually, I don't know what he felt. I imagine he felt diminished by that. And I imagine that's me. I'm feeling diminished by that idea. It doesn't make it true. It doesn't mean someone else is trying to say it to me. But my receiving of anything like that can make it feel diminished. And I find myself really appreciating being around others sometimes because it feels like I'm getting praise. I'm getting that balance. And so a reminder for myself is that I am creating the balance for myself. I don't need to have it come from any one person. And then I don't have the attachment to any one person either. It's an interesting idea that no one truly dies. I can't remember who said that recently. It's like, all of their parts show up in everyone else. That's what Dr. DeMartini is trying to teach. It's like the moment that someone dies, can you notice that all those parts show up in someone else? And it probably is the same thing as moving away from home, like having lost that home structure of being in PEI and having my parents. It's like, who has shown up as my parents? Who's shown up as my mother? Who's shown up as my father? And then how have I outsourced parts that I don't need to outsource? How have I outsourced them to the people I don't want to outsource to, like the ones that are closest to me, for some of the ones that may feel like nagging or structure or reminding or putting down or minimizing or diminishing. And then just recognizing those are my interpretations. Like, I'm interpreting that, I'm looking for that, I'm listening for that over and over again. And soon I'm going to try to record some videos that are outside of my magic mirror work. Take a look at what wants to come through. I want to talk about my certainty and what we're trying to create. Oh man, we're trying to create this program where people are not just, mildly going through PTSD for the rest of their life and getting attached to their trauma and talking about attachment theories and discussions and all the stuff, even myself going through it, but actually getting to the point where you're living life. Like, that's what we want. And we've realized that through trial and error, through hearing others, through seeing others, all these different ways of doing it. And so what is it? Well, it's actually getting yourself prepared. Okay, instead of saying I'm just doing one breath session is just the beginning part of the work. It's the breath to help you realize you are in your own medicine. It's the coaching to actually find your intention, just dive deeper into your intention, embody your intention. It's the esoteric world to work to clear out what you may not even believe is there. And even if you do believe, that there's whole other levels of belief. Like, there's whole other levels of seeking to wake up to your own gifts and genius that you are. And if you've been listening to the telepathy tapes or other things like that, you'll be able to see that there's so much more. And then the body work, because our body stores so many messages, whether you have pain, whether you have dis-ease, whether you have discomfort. I've known people who are like, oh, I'm fine, and they're having vomiting, diarrhea. I've had people who are like, oh yeah, there's nothing there, and then they just start uncontrollably crying or shaking or feeling tension or pain. And all those things I'm inviting you to actually experience first, to be like, oh, hello there. Hello there. And often, it doesn't make it universally true, but often, those that have the most powerful releases initially with the body, even before the medicine work, get to dive in the most completely, have the most fun in the medicine journey, because they've released the thing that they're actually afraid of. There's fear and excitement, tragedy and comedy. All of these things come in pairs. And then you actually have time, space, energy for receiving the full day of guidance, support, love. And part of it is, even if you didn't have any of the medicine, it'd be enough to be there in the presence of at least 2 people there fully for you, creating spaciousness, creating insight, creating awareness. And knowing that my ceremonies, it's not just lying there being silent, hoping that everything works out. It's layering things on, it's stacking things on, both in the breath, both in the medicine, both in the words, both in the teaching, both in your own expression as well. And often people will go from expressing, requesting a little, to really expressing, so much so that the deep shadows are safe enough to come out if they want to come out. And the deep joys and inspiration are also willing to come out. Regardless of which way you go, and you get to go and bounce back and forth between both, it's integrating all of that afterwards. And I used to do integration session or 2, and people would feel better, they'd feel some integration. And now, the reason we've created it, so it's a 4-month integration. Every 2 weeks, having a deep soul journey, embodying coaching call with my dear friend Marika right now. You're so lucky to be with her and her team, is to ground this into reality. It's grounding it into everyday reality when you're actually having a fight with your spouse, when you're feeling lonely, when you are at your crossroads for work or changing work or money or health. You can actually see the gift in it all. You can actually revisit, you can actually relive, you can actually remember. And so that by the end of the 5 months, it's inevitable that you're going to achieve your intention. And your attention, intention, all those things can be multifaceted. We're going to invite you to have a main facet. Like, that's one thing, priority, a priority, one thing. But can there be multiple things that are in your hierarchy of values, so to speak? We're going to invite you to take a look at that too. What actually is present and alive in your life? Yes. I mean, the 4th thing in mind is financial wealth. I totally want to be this ridiculous billionaire, millionaire in some ways, because it amplifies the voice, it makes things freer. I've got so many things that I would like to make a reality in my dreamscape. Not just of things, not just of accumulation, but of the ease, of the flow, of the people to hire, of hiring the best and the best, to hire them to become who they want to be, of transforming, transmuting money and how we relate to it. All of these ideas are there. All of these ideas are there. All of these ideas are there. And just wanting to put it out there, wanting to keep putting it out there, wanting to keep putting it out there. And planting seeds over and over and over again, over and over and over again. Just wanting to plant seeds and then letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. Wanting to gift things over and over again, let it go, let it go, let it go. Just breathe into the echo. Okay. This is my work, this is magic work. That wasn't me trying to sell, and it was me trying to sell. That's how it feels right now. Trying to get the message together. I didn't bring anything to drink up here, partly because I just wanted to see what would happen if I just brought myself. I'll head back down and get a lighter, and a drink in the nearer future. The certainty of what we're doing too. Ohana sage, the paradox of it all. I'm gonna record a little video for my team, just to remind them of the paradox, remind them of the changes, Remind them of the inspiration. Remind them of the certainty. Remind them of the confidence. Remind them of the dis-ease. Remind them of the flows. Remind the ebbs and flows. Remind them of the exponential process of this. And that's part of it too. This is exponential. And so part of it, if you're looking at exponential, it starts off very slow and goes up. And now what we've got is this, and we've got this bump and this spike almost. And the spike is awesome. But the problem is people think the spike is the thing. It's not. It's still just on the low part. As we're going up, there can be so many spikes because you can revisit, you can re-see, you can relearn. Oh, it's interesting. There's a little bit of an echo on the screen. That's so cool. Maybe it's just seeing the reflection of myself. There's so many little bumps. And they just keep getting higher and higher and higher. And when they go lower and lower, they're just slingshotting you up as well. And there's so many podcasts and books and resources that could be there. And it's just inviting people, things to ask. Ask and you shall receive. And then for me, over and over again, letting go of my timeline, God's timeline, letting go of it. Everything is happening according to timeline. And the things that I'm not rushing, in my own relationship, for example, why am I not rushing those? I'm trying to rush the external world. Leave the external world, just trust it's going to unfold. Take care of the internal world. Take care of my own stuff. Take care of my own taxes. Take care of my own financial wealth. Take care of my own savings and investings. Take care of my own bank accounts. Where have I not taken care of things yet? Let's start writing them down and having them listed out. Having things automatically go where they want to go. We're nearing the end of the month now. How are we doing with all this? How are we doing with this corporation? Okay. This is the 25th. Okay. Where are we at with our first client? Okay. I'm a reminder for myself. I feel like I'm dragging this company, pulling this company, pushing this company. That's a story too. Let it go. Being with this UV light, this ultraviolet light, this morning light. Learning about these different ways of being. Recording all these videos and then trying to choose. Choosing what are the important ones. What are the important ones? What are the ones that we really want to get out to people, that we really want to release? And learning about this process. Creating a template, creating a framework. Creating a template, creating a framework. Creating something for my dear friend Redrin and having him help me guide a framework or a template. A series of breaths. And that's it as well, why I want people to do a breath work session every week, every 2 weeks, is because it's growing, it's building on these muscles. And noticing when they fall away, when they fade away, when they hide away. With sureness of breath, I tried to explain the infinite and how rare and beautiful it truly is that we exist. I'm looking at all these hedges, I'm looking at these spider plants, I'm just like, all right, they get to grow. Get to notice when they get harvested, when they get trimmed, when they get nourished. And at some point, learning how to garden, how to grow better. And at some point, just letting it all go. At some point, all this repotting and everything else that my son's going to be doing, at some point, letting it go. Buying as much fucking soil as they want, planting as many plants as they want, go nuts. Even put them on the other side. Like, that's the funny thing, unless they're actually cleaning windows, that other side is totally available for putting planters in and no one can see it. So, that's something I'm going to tell my beloved. If she wants to, she can put it on the other side of that fence. I'm fine with that. Is she fine with that? Giant planters on there hanging off that fence is perfect. Perfect. What else? Fucking what else? Fuck. Asshole. Just let the words fly. Looking off in the distance, seeing that samurai gaze, just looking at the mist. Just loving the mist. The mist Moria. The mountains of Moria. I don't even have to stop this. I can keep recording this while I go downstairs. Forgot about that part. That's true. Go grab the lighter. Go grab the drink. Come on back up. Sounds good to me. Sound good to you? All right, let's do it. I'll see you soon. Hello again. Hello again. Got my lighter. I can light this fire pit now. Got my beet juice. Got a drink now. So see how this goes. May not work anymore. That's the unfortunate thing. Let's try it once more. No, I don't hear anything. Problem could lie on either side. Leave it open for now. We'll see what happens. Not that I need the heat right now, thankfully. Okay. The other thing is to drink some of this beet juice. Before it goes bad. That would suck. That would really suck. Yeah. Just noticing that there's a part of my mind going, it's fucking hard. There's so many things going on. So many things to take care of. Things like rust to take care of. Things like juicing to take care of. Things like family to take care of. Things like money to take care of. Things like tax to take care of. I don't want to deal with any of it. And isn't that funny how that happens? Back out here, reminding myself I'm in the sunshine. In this morning light, this is the most important stuff right now. And if I can do this regularly, routinely, what's going to happen? If I create the space for the oxidation, reduction, for all the electrons to move through the body the way it needs to, what will be different? Yes, I'm on the rooftop right now. Yes, I'm not directly connected with the earth, and there's still a connection. What can be different? Yeah, having some of that wooden stuff right underneath your feet out here, that would be nice. Don't need it over there. 120 square feet, we can do that. What else can we lay down as well, right? What else can we lay down as well? Sometimes it is not easy. Sometimes it is not easy. I'll probably wait till the next time Uncle Francis is here, or someone's here, and then I'll return those big bad boys. Do it with someone. Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud. I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way, and 1,000 violins begin to play. Though it might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear, I get misty the moment you're near. You may say that you're leading me on, but that's just what I want you to do. Can't you see just how hopelessly I'm lost? That's why I'm following you. Ah, ba 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 boo, oh, ba 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 boo, walk my way. And 1,000 violins begin to play. Though it might be the sound of your hello, that music I know, I get misty. Do 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 do. It's more fun. I just started singing, I realized today. And magic mirror work. For me, by me, through me, as me, why not? I love doing it in ceremonies. I love doing it for others. I love doing it with others. And I got reminded of that from my dear friend Megan yesterday. It's like, music is a big part of your life. And I can see that more clearly now than I have before. I can see and be in gratitude for especially my mother and my grandfather for introducing music into our lives. The playing of the piano, the singing, the choir, the jazz, the band, the saxophone, the clarinet, the drums. Beats are still a little bit tricky for me. Rhythm. That's why the rap part is just a little bit more challenging. The slower music, a little bit easier. Singing with people and harmonizing, way better than singing my own right now still. And that's okay. I don't have to be a soloist. It's not a necessity. And that's partly sometimes what I forget, is I'm thinking, oh my God, I need to be, once I get in a certain level, a big name, a big act. And part of it is I can both be big and small at the same time. And that's why I make that joke, you needed a little Chinese man to really kickstart your life. And that's it. It allows me to be a little bit more of a drill sergeant sometimes. And then I was listening to Teal Swan today, and her whole idea about what are your sexual fantasies and how does it showcase what you missed out on, what you felt pressured by, what you felt challenged by as a child. And for me, I think there's a little bit of it's that domination piece, a little bit of that forced, in the fantasy world, non-consensual piece. And I think part of it's because for me, I felt like I wasn't consenting to all of the structure, all the schooling, all the lessons, everything that was being forced down me. And it's playing with that a little bit. It's toying with that. It's releasing that energy. And it's such a reminder to allow those things to come up, because in my mind, especially with the Roman Catholic upbringing, it's almost like there's a perversion, there's a shame. And in the real world, forced, non-consensual stuff, it's not what we want. But in a simulated setting where we're actually in awareness, in loving relationship, in support of, it can be wonderful. And it's such a reminder. Everything taken out of context, terrible. Everything taken in context, amazing. That's an interesting concept for me. So I'm going to take it a deep level further. Even the idea of killing, whether you're butchering or hunting or harvesting of any kind, killing is actually what you want in that moment, right? Not killing would be not doing your job. But outside of those moments, no. And then I really appreciate the idea of in hunting, what if when you're really, the more connected you are with that animal is wanting and willing to give up their life for you. It's almost like they stop and finding that moment, finding that 0 point, finding that peace. And it's even, I think, in the idea of butchering, this factory farming, this speed, this efficiency, we're losing the capacity to recognize it's not just about getting the meat on the table. It's not about the speed of the meat. It's not about the speed of the meat. Speed of the meat. And then coming back to Papa Jack Cruz and his whole idea, like we create more ATP every day than our own body weight. But most of that ATP can be created with the benefit of sunlight connecting with the ions of the earth, creating ATP, unlocking and releasing the potential of the energy. That's why the breatharians exist. They have this potential to do that. And it used to be 70 to 80% of our energy was generated through that. At least a percentage of it is generated through that. I can see that more now coming up, which means that we'd only have to eat less because we only need 20 to 30% of our calories from actual food. But when you're not getting that, when you're inside all the time and you're thinking materialistically, you have to get all of your calories from food, all of your ATP from food. You can only unlock energy from food. And unlocking energy from food actually gets you tired. And that's part of it too. That's part of it too with the DeMartini method, with doing this Zoom call where you're inside all the time, even if it's not inside all the time, if it's out in the light all the time, if it's out inside the fluorescent lights of an indoor space, and noticing that that itself is is dimming, is dulling our dopamine, is killing us in a way. And not killing us as quickly as we'd notice, but killing us nonetheless. Is how do we get ourselves out there in a completely different space? How do we get a breakthrough session in a different space and seeing what energy is there, mixing it up, matching it up? And bringing him out here to the West Coast. Doesn't even have to be on a weekend, can be on a weekdays. What is the minimum amount of money we can make this happen? Spend the rest of the money on something else. That would be a really interesting idea. Time inside and then time outside. Time inside and then time outside. Time inside and then time outside. We got to keep going outside. We got to keep taking breaks. We got to keep getting out in the sunshine, especially that early morning sun. Being out there for the early morning sun and then getting in. And that's the same thing with my retreat. Get outside in that first early morning sun. We don't start till after that sun. We don't start until after sunrise. We don't go inside until at least an hour after sunrise. Just remembering that we climbed Mount Fuji before, that's crazy. Some of the things that we've done. That was back in 2016. We've had a lot of adventures. My beloved and I have hit Asia, have hit North America, and have hit Europe together. We both hit Africa separately. I don't know if she's been to Australia as well. Both been to Hawaii. Hawaii is definitely a trip I'd like to take soon. That's an easy one, actually. We just go to Hawaii. That's a simple one. Straightforward, short flight. That might be it. Lots of fruit. Now we do need to build up our solar callus, not for here, but for traveling. That's a great reminder. I do want to build up my solar callus more. Build more melanin sheaths. Get the red lights at work. So you need to take a look at the blogs and look at the red light stuff. That's for sure. We're 32 minutes in here, so we got about half an hour of sunshine right now. And I'm not trying to get to an hour because I'm going to record some other videos. That's a big piece of this morning. Reflections on the inspiration breath, really finding the time to slow down, to settle in and be inspired. Be inspired by yourself, guiding into your own breath, feeling the resistance, feeling the non-resistance and everything else in between. Being with the medicine of it all, being with the medicine of the space, being with the medicine of each other. And the inspiration, all of these breaths, the inspiration for these breaths is the fact that they're both being done live and they're recorded. So for all the test of time, people can start joining in, whether it's through school or whether you sign up for each individual breath and you get the recording delivered to your email inbox. Both are okay. Both are okay. So many synchronicities. And the next breath is certainty. Coming into certainty. Layer after layer after layer. Lots of stuff is being recorded. Not everything has to be released. Synchronicities. 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 So I'm just thinking about the breath that I had with some men on Thursday night here on the 20th, and the synchronicities of them both coming, the synchronicities of my son having a plate that came over, the synchronicities of the music, the synchronicities of the healing, and then the synchronicities of just noticing for myself, like I could push for next steps, but instead be clearer about what I see, lay it out, and then let it go. And it's different than it used to be. It used to be much more of a push. And then recognizing how much growth has happened, because part of it was a gift to help close up the year container and to point towards the next year what's possible, what's totally possible. Not just what's possible, it's probable. And then letting go of it. And having such fun with the possible, the probable, the infinite, the non-infinite, everything else in between, right? And it's not about understanding all the words either. You don't need to understand all the words to understand what's going on, and that can be part of things in the future. I look forward to the technology. That's part of the benefit of AI, translations in real time. Translations in real time. And until then, just breathing with it, just being in the energy. And I'm just thinking of creating videos to remind people of the synchronicities of the spring equinox and planting seeds for the summer solstice. Planting seeds for containers even outside of those powerful dates. Like every date can be powerful if we choose to. These are just some extra powerful portals. And small group gatherings are so welcomed. I've got a space in Langley. I've got a beautiful man who wants to assist. Probably at most 6 people. Could even be more. And we can try it out. 4 to 6 people for sure though. Right. To get some context, I imagine each of those will cost at least $2,000 US. And it's going to keep going up. Eventually, it's going to be like $5,000 US per session. And recognizing they're not the fullness of the depth. Because what I would really love to do is the fullness of the depth. And that's not what we're trying to create for this. It's 4 hours. Okay. All right, so there's that piece. And then there's the Ohana breath. So just follow-ups and the inspirations for what's next. And then I'm feeling tired and heavy because I'm scared. I'm scared of doing it. I'm scared of screwing it up. I'm scared of the feedback. I'm scared. Magic mirror work, noticing the fear. And I don't see the fear in me right now. Huh. The eyes are more symmetrical than usual when I'm up here. Interesting. The double eyelid. Is more present than usual. Very interesting. Okay. So there's something about the sunlight that's happening here. And being with it. And there will be resting again today at some point in time. And this is important work. I can be up here in the sun. Let's do it. Let's keep as much as early morning light as possible. Let's do these videos up here as I can. Do this work up here as I can. All right. I feel good. I knew that I would now. And I feel nice. Like sugar and spice. Just looking at the water droplets and just got that book on water again. It's funny because I was gifted that book. Wow. That would have been in Calgary 20 years ago now. No. Oh yeah, slightly less than 20 years ago. I saw the pictures of water, the crystalline nature of water. Such interesting stuff that I received. So many people wanting to guide me towards me who saw me before I saw me. And that's the thing that frustrates me sometimes when I see people and they're pushing me away, trying to tell me that I don't see them. And it takes effort to see them again. But having the compassion to meet them where they're at and having the compassion to gently point it out and let it go if they don't change, that part is a little more challenging right now still. Tomorrow's my best friend's, actually no wait, today's my best friend's birthday, but his party's tomorrow. So I can give him a call today. Wishing him well. Wishing him well in the morning. Maybe I'll do that first. I wish him fucking happy birthday. All right? Ciao for now.